Hi everybody, welcome to the Lot Pod, Leeds Rhinos Lot 17A podcast. Kindly sponsored by ACD&B, who are a branding and creative design agency based in Farsley, Leeds. They create standout brands. So for any companies out there, any businesses that need a brand refresh, a new logo, just get in touch with ACD&B. Thanks as always to them for sponsoring us. ACD&B designed this, the new Lot 17A fanzine. This has completely sold out in 24 hours of it being for sale online. I think we had around 50 copies have gone. ACD&B, designed this. This sold out just from the front cover, just from the look. No one has seen inside this apart from me and ACD&B and a brief flick through. But that kind of proves just how good ACD&B are for their design. It's a front cover sold out. So do get in touch with ACD&B for any of your branding or anything like that. Get in touch with those. So this is the Mailbag podcast off the back of Leeds' outstanding win against Catalans. As always, joining me for this is Statman Reese. How are you, Reese?
Yeah, good. I think I've finally come down from Friday night now.
In
fact, it's been brought down by Jacksonville Jaguars.
I was literally about to say, as we record this, Reese is watching. Who are Jacksonville playing?
The legendary team, apparently, Washington Commanders.
And they are losing?
Yes.
So if you hear Reese kind of go, "Ooh, yeah," and start going like that, he's just going to have to mute his mic, and then he can... If you watch it, you'll see him like going...
By the end of this podcast, I'll look like you.
What a very, very lucky man looking like this. We've got a special guest today with us on the Mailbag, the first ever special guest for the Mailbag. Who is it, Reese?
We've got Bry from Six Again.
What a legend as well.
Bry,
all right, Bry.
Hi, boys. How are you?
Good, really good. Thanks for coming on. For those that aren't aware, Brian runs the Twitter account Six Again. If you're listening to this, I'm going to assume that you are aware of Brian's work on Twitter. It is a brilliant account. Promotes the hell out of rugby league, and I mean all rugby league. Does such an amazing job of putting the fixtures on there, if it's on telly, where it's on telly. Just promotes rugby league probably better than any other account on Twitter, and I mean that. But like official accounts, television accounts, Six Again is something really, really good. So well done on your good work there, Brad. You deserve a pat on your back because it's a really good account. Can you feel the love?
Now and again. Not all the time. Not all the time.
That's just Twitter, mate. That's just Twitter. So the reason we've got you on is you've kind of joined forces with the Loose Forward podcast. And do you want to tell us exactly what you've kind of combined for?
Yeah, we've created Rugby League Shirt Day. Following the premise of, you may have known, Football Shirt Day, which raises money for the Bobby Moore Cancer Fund, I think it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done something similar. We've created this, and we are hoping to raise money for MND Association and the Steve Prescott Foundation.
Yeah. When is it, Rugby League Shirt Day?
Friday, the 23rd of September, day before the grand final, is the main event, but you can do it now. We had a launch day a couple of weeks back. I started. I put mine straight up. There will be others from me going along. I think I'm planning on wearing 3 different shirts that day.
Is one of them a league shirt?
Not telling you.
I'll send you one.
Nice.
Not telling you. Although my wife says if she can still get hold of the Leeds Magic shirt, she might go it on. So yeah, but yeah, that's the main day. Friday, 23rd September is the main event itself. We're hoping that people will basically put a shirt on, take a photo themselves, share it on social media, and donate if you can. Obviously, times are hard at the minute, so
yeah,
only if you can, you can.
There's an official Rugby League Shirt Day Twitter account, TikTok account, all social media? What
Yeah, Twitter,
information on those?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The Twitter and TikTok page are both the same. They are at RL Shirt Day.
Mhm.
The Instagram account is Rugby League Shirt Day 2022.
Mhm.
And the Facebook page is RL Shirt Day.
Yeah, so across all social media. And there's a couple of hashtags to follow there as well.
Yeah, hashtag RL Shirt Day. Hashtag show us your shirt. And hashtag shirt selfie.
Yeah. So get involved, everybody. It's a great idea. Friday 23rd or now. I still need to do mine, Bri. You asked me to do it ages ago, and I still need to do my selfie and then tag 3 more people to do theirs. I'll definitely do it. I promise.
Yeah, that's the plan. We want to nominate people. We want people to nominate.
Good
so
awareness, yeah.
Keep it spinning along. Keep the momentum going.
You've also got a couple of interviews lined up. Is that right? With local BBC radio stations?
Well, yeah, BBC Radio Merseyside have been in touch. They want us to go on for an interview next week. Might be a bit delayed because what's going on.
Yeah.
And also BBC Radio Humberside have been in touch.
Oh, really?
And on the back of that, we've had massive support from Hull KR Foundation.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. Who have got Hull University involved, a hospital in Hull involved. So yeah, it's starting to build momentum. They were quite happy. But we've got a couple of teams involved. Cornwall are very, very supportive of us, and Batley are as well. But yeah, they're the first big fish out of the pond. We'd like to say, no disrespect to Cornwall or Batley, obviously.
No, yeah.
But they were quite pleased that they beat Hull FC to the punch, to be quite fair. I'm being totally.
That's brilliant. Rugby League Shirt Day, Friday, the 23rd of September. I'm sure it'll gather momentum. And I'm sure it's one of those things, Bri, where once you've done it year on year, it'll just continue and it'll just become something like football shirt day or something along those lines. I think it's a great idea, and thanks for coming on to promote it. It's time to open the mailbag. As I say, this is off the back of Leeds' win against Catalan. Reece, do you want to start?
I am going to start, but I'm not going to go straight into the mailbag, actually. I thought of a question straight off that I want to ask Bri.
Oh, go for it.
What were your thoughts on the Leeds Catalan game on Friday night?
Scrappy. I didn't do my usual live stream tweets. I've cut off them at the end of the season, mainly because I was at my mum's last weekend, and I was supposed to be this weekend as well, and she doesn't have Sky Sports, so it'd have been a bit behind kind of thing, so I left it. But I did tweet a couple of times, and Leeds for the first 17 minutes were just unbelievable. Come out the blocks like I've not seen for a while, considering what had happened against Castleford, and it was just a non-event for the new truck really. Until the last 5 minutes, obviously, but it was such a shock. You could tell that they've been given a talking to really, and said, look, we need to hit these, and we need to hit these quick. And then obviously once Catalan are behind a bit, they do have a tendency to try and infuriate people and try and infuriate teams and certain players, shall we say, and then lose the temper. And it happened first game of the season against Saints. Napa got sent off. They didn't like it that they were getting beat. They tried getting Leeds to play their way in there and set the tone, but Leeds were having none of it. And they were shocked. I think they were totally shocked by how the game started. Flowing through the game, once Sutcliffe scored, you kind of knew there was only one team going to win. you could see it. You could see they'd lost their head.
My
You
God,
could see
yeah.
that they didn't want it. They were more. It sounds like they were more interested in causing ruptions than they were in concentrating on what they've done.
Oh,
I honestly believe if they did concentrate on what they did, on what they can do, they'd have probably won. To be quite fair, because they do have the talent to do that, and also with the raucous atmosphere, they'd have been picked up, like you have seen countless times at Edinburgh, like I've seen to my detriment countless times at Edinburgh. But at the end of the day, best team won, best team went through, and you can't take anything away. And all you can do is praise the players, because the back line is not your starting back line whatsoever.
No, it wasn't. There was only Sutcliffe there, really.
Yeah, and then just what the coach has done since he's come in is just phenomenal. I think I put a tweet out a couple of games in saying, "Look what he can do! Look what he can do!" And I got slated for it, even by Leeds fans. And you know, when you've seen before how you're received, it's one of them where I want to go find it, and I want to go and look at it, and I want to
pull it back up, dig it back up. Highlight every one of them. There you go. You. Laurie, all believers now, Bri. Everyone's a believer now.
Especially
Laurie was doing that with the original tweet from Rhinos. You can see
he did.
A lot of Rhinos fans were going, "Oh, what the hell is this?" and all that, and quite a few people openly went, "Yeah, I was wrong. I was completely wrong."
I told you, hands up. We're all converted now.
Yeah, no, we were converted quite quickly.
We forgot to mention, but Bri, you are not a Leeds Rhinos fan, are you?
For my sins, yes, I am not.
Do you want to tell us who you support?
The mighty St. Helens.
I just feel like we need to kind of announce that, because some of the mailbag questions are Leeds Rhinos based, but we'll still get Brian's thoughts on them, because when
I was asked originally, when I first started doing things, people didn't actually know I supported until I'd done a couple of pods. Didn't know I supported Saints, because no one asked. So I just kept it to myself, to be quite fair. No one asked.
I would too if I was a Saints fan.
Yeah,
I got told I was a Cash fan, a Featherstone fan, a Lee fan. Yeah, there was just a broad range of, and I was just sat there going, no.
That's crazy how people you never said anything, and yet people have assumed numerous. It's funny how they've seen that.
I think it was because the Twitter page says I'm from West Yorkshire. Obviously, I live in West Yorkshire.
Yeah.
So they presumed I might have been to a fan over there of a team, but then there might be certain tweets that I've put out and backing certain people or certain players or saying someone's good. I had someone tell me I was a Wigan fan once because I said Liam Farrell's the best second over I've seen for so long and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sat there going, no.
I'm not a Wigan fan. I'm not a Wigan fan. In actual fact, I hate him.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
I was explaining to a friend the other day, going to, he was and ahhing whether to go to the grand final, buy tickets, because he doesn't want to go to Saints, aren't they? And I was like, yeah, well, try going when you're watching Wigan v Warrington, and you sat there going,
can they both lose?
So let's get into the mailbag then, and let's actually start with your questions, Brian, because they're the ones that are top of my list at the moment. So the first one that you've asked is, where does Friday's win rank in past playoff performances?
This kind of goes hand in hand, sorry, Reese, with a question that we've had from Benny.
Fair enough.
It kind of goes hand in hand, so we can kind of swallow that together, mix it together. And Benny asked, was that the toughest ever playoff win? I suppose you can answer this first, Reese, and then take it from there.
I threw it to you to give myself some time, and then you just throw it.
All right, fair enough. I think it was. I definitely asked my friends on our WhatsApp group, like, is this prior to the game? Sorry, is this the toughest ever playoff fixture we've had? You know, with the squad we've got, with Catalans at home, got a good record, and I think it was. the toughest game in playoff history for us, really. So, what was your side of it? Sorry, your question.
Sorry.
remember.
Where does the win rank in past playoff performances?
I don't think it's the best performance.
I also don't think it's the best win. I think it's probably one of the toughest challenges we've had. But if I think playoff and I think playoff win, I can only ever think of 2015 and that 40-20 from Kev. In that performance. And that for me is my favourite playoff performance. And that's not just because Brian's a St. Helens fan and I've mentioned that. I generally think that is our best playoff result, just in how the game, what was needed to be done by one player to win that game. But I think Friday is definitely one of the toughest, if not the toughest, in terms of the physicality and the discipline to stay disciplined.
Yeah, I agree with that. What did you make of it, Brian?
Friday, or the fact that they just scored?
We hadn't scored. We just got a sack. Sorry.
I agree. I think that 40-20 broke my heart, and it still does. It's up there with Lee Smith, to be quite fair. But I think I honestly think that the best performance was that 40-20 game. Although Friday is up there due to, as you say, players missing, where you were, how you've past winning the grand final from a certain place. You always had the momentum going in, so you always didn't want to play. It's like I had a conversation this weekend saying the last team I'd want to play in the semi-final, the Leeds or Salford. That basically you don't want to play either. The one team you wanted to play was Huddersfield. Yeah. But and I think that's what the difference is in the history of what you've done in playoffs before. But this is up there. I'd say probably a top 4, top 5. Or definitely that the less I talk about that 40-20, the better. Thanks.
Brian, your second question was, which sports TV program would you like to appear on? Do you have an answer for this, Brian?
I always wanted to be on Question of Sport when I was a kid.
Me too.
Yeah, I loved Question of Sport. I haven't watched it, since they've changed the people.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it for years.
I remember when I first started watching it, it was John Parrott.
Yes. Alan McCoy.
Was it Anna McCoy's? And then I really enjoyed the Matt Dawson and Tuffers era. I thought they were brilliant together. But there's another one that's in my mind at the moment, and it's purely because of Michael Sheen. And it's a league of their own. Oh, hang on. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm mentioning Michael Sheen. I've just got
literally about to say you've mentioned something well, Reese, and not touched the flag. The flag's there.
Yeah.
If I'd known you were going to do that, I'd gone and got mine from the bedroom and brought mine out to put mine there.
Oh my God. Everyone's bloody Welsh in this thing.
Everyone was Welsh after that Michael Sheen speech. Jesus. But any other programme? Actually, yeah. Ski Sunday. Love Ski Sunday.
Do you even remember that?
Ski Sunday. It's still on now.
Still going?
Yeah, still going.
I thought it had finished. Look at me.
No,
I'm so out of touch.
Yeah.
No, you're normally
the best theme tunes.
You're normally on your way home from a game on a Sunday. That's what it is.
That's true. Question of sport for me. Other than that, I don't know. I tell you what, I absolutely was obsessed with and watched religiously back in the day. They Think It's All Over. Remember that? I loved that. Nick Hancock, Gary Lineker, David Gower, Jonathan Ross. It was must-watch TV, that. Especially if something had happened that week in the week of sport. So probably them two. Any more, Bri, that you'd like to go on?
When I was about 18, I went to watch Lee Hurst in the gig. And he told a story about an outtake. And I won't tell it on here. I really won't. But it's genius. I'll tell you later. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen or heard in my life. But that programme, it was amazing. As I say, something had happened that week to try and get that person on as well. I'll never forget, Manny Petit went on it, I think. And he just got lynched. and Lynch, because he had his flocking hair, and everyone was like, "Oh, ooh," and he was just giving it, just all 5 of them just giving it straight off. But no more for me. It was always question of sport.
Yeah, question of sport. I agree.
Your third question, Brian, might need some explaining, but I'm going to read it out anyway. So the question is, how much did the taxi cost up to the airport, and how much / where did you tell the better half it cost / you was? I'm so confused. So can you explain this to me?
I'll let Eddie.
He was saying it to me about after the back of the Catalan win.
Oh, right. Got you.
Yeah. Ryan also sent a tweet. What did the tweet say? I think there were about 3 tweets about.
Someone said he's going to Zante. He's going to Zante. He's off up there. So what do we need to look out for him? I said he'll either have a pink lead shirt on, or there's "I love Danny Mags" t-shirt on.
Yeah, got loads of them.
Does that count? That does count. That does count.
Yeah, that counts. Do you know what it is as well? I was talking to someone was in the DMs, on Twitter, obviously, and someone said, since we got the Danny McGuire bell, we've hardly spoke about Dan. It's hardly been used.
Hang on. Right. Next question is from Ian East Leeds, who said, non-liners often express surprise that we don't rate regular silver kissers like the 2 Brian Max as highly as transformational coaches who only won 1 trophy, like Tony Smith and Murray. Will Rowan go on to become the best of both by combining transformation with regular silver kissing?
Into silverware.
I enjoy the phrase silver kissing, by the way, as a trophy thing.
Yeah, I do. Ian always speaks well. Yeah, if you're asking me, I absolutely think so. Of course. Of course I do. No, but I feel what's exciting for me most under Rowan is what he's done with this squad. I've said it before, but what he's done with this squad that's not his squad. It isn't. Now, Rob Oates kind of came on here and said Rowan would never say that it's not his squad, but I'll say it for him because it isn't his squad. He's inherited this squad, and the transformation that we saw, because it's the same side apart from Zach Hardaker that Richard Agar started the year with and was diabolical. So the fact that Rowan came in and has completely transformed us from a relegation side and taken us up to a game away from Old Trafford, to me, is enough excitement to think, what can this guy do? So that's everything we've seen with Leeds this year in however many games Rowan Smith's been here. Imagine what would be like in 2 years when you'd kind of say then in 2 years he'd probably have his squad or who he like.
Do you remember we're talking about what a success would look like for Rowan? Success would be right off this year. Don't worry about it. Just build next year. Get your squad. Have a good season, and then in the next year we go for it. Yeah, we're in a position to potentially already go for it.
To already go for it. So, in terms of the lot pod schedule that we put in place for him, don't want to go into that. Is ahead of schedule by miles. So imagine that's exactly what I'm saying. Imagine what it could be like in. I mean, we are a delusional podcast. Brian will probably just think, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But to me, the excitement and to think we're going to win it this year. So where we're going to be in 3 years, I think we're well ahead of schedule, Ian, and I think that the club are aware it's a long-term thing with Rowan because he got the 3.5 year deal. So they've kind of said, "This is the guy." Yeah. It's put
and
up.
That'll take him up to an NRL job.
Yeah.
That'll take him up to an NRL job. It'll be that 3.5 years. He'll be successful and he'll go to the NRL.
To me, and obviously it's my words, when I think we win every game, severe delusion. I'll say now, every day is that by the time Rowan Smith leaves Leeds, he will have 3 pieces of silverware, whether that's a Challenge Cup or 2 Challenge Cup. He'll have 3 pieces, the bare minimum, 3 pieces of silverware. That's obviously me as a Leeds fan. How do you feel, Brian? How do you think Rowan Smith's tenure could look?
I call it the Justin Holbrook effect. That's how it seems. It really does. Obviously, when he came in, he brought he got Barber straight away, so it looked a bit rosier. And I think the squad was a bit, no disrespect, but I think the squad was a bit better that he inherited. But he had to put his stance on it. He had to put what he wanted on it, and it was just simple things. And that's probably what Smith's done. Probably just come in. I said exactly what you said. Right, it's right off. Let's go for it. Let's do what we can do. This is what we're building for. You're not staying. You're not staying. You might play, but I know you're not staying. And he's always planning ahead. And that's how I see it. It does seem similar to when Justin Holbrook went to St. Helens, from how it's graduating through the season. But next year is going to be the big one for him. Obviously, if he brings his own in, has his own ways, because you've got to bring players in, and you have to gel and stuff. It's not going to be a mass change. There'll be a few change, but it won't be like something like Salford who get picked off, the full back. They have to replace so many, and then they need a lot of time to gel. Like they've shown this year, they needed so much time to gel, and then hit off. I don't think he'll take that much to gel. So I think next year, if there's a struggle, then there might be questions. But I don't see a struggle like there has been this year, and I definitely don't see a struggle like Warrington. And I think that's the other thing. He came in, changed everything, changed so much thing in pre-season. Whereas if he'd have gone in halfway through last season, Warrington probably would have known what they wanted this year and been a bit better. And I think that's where then Leeds are going to be next year. They'll be pushing to then be where they used to be and have been and can be. And yeah.
Cool.
Welcome back.
Oh, you okay?
Small little crisis. But yeah, we're good. I was listening to your answer. I quite enjoyed that. But in answer to Ring's question, I only think he will win trophies for us, but I think it's going to be limited to that 3.5 years of that contract. ZB, his question is nice and simple. How hard is Morgan Gannon?
We've waxed lyrical about Morgan on this pod since his debut, to be honest, kind of comparing to Adrian Morley and things. So regular listeners to this, people listening to this know how me and Reese feel and our regulars feel. Brian, how do you feel about Morgan Gannon?
Class act. Just other than losing his teeth in one hit and then seeing the birds in another hit on Friday. He's being class. Another tweet earlier in the season, I put him in a team of some sort. Might have been an England team for the World Cup. Might have been, I can't remember exactly. But again, I got a few replies of, really? Can't you sure? You know what this guy was? No, they were off Leeds fans. And again, it was just before the change or just after. And I'm like, yeah, but you can see what he's going to do. You can see where he's going to be and how he's going to do it. And
he's 18, Brian. He's 18.
Exactly.
He's not actually finished school. He's only just finished school.
Yeah. And
I thought he was an 18-year-old out of school, and then did that tweet saying he got AAB in his A levels or whatever he got. So that pissed me off as well, because he's clearly good, and then he's really intelligent as well.
So he's 18. He's intelligent. He plays for Leeds.
Yeah,
he does everything that you want. Amazing.
Yeah, and it's just like, I think obviously the questions in relating to the fact that despite all of those things, it takes it a serious amount of bravery to go running into Sam Cassiano when he's running full pelt at you. And to be fair, he got clobbered by Tetivano as well, probably at the same time in that tackle.
Friendly fire, yeah.
But for an 18-year-old to front up to that, it is hard as nails. And he got up, to be fair. But there was no way he was passing his HIA though after.
No.
But the thing is with him, it's like Jason Garigari at Casper. You know the talent's there. You knew as soon as he went in the team, you knew that he had to be in. It was probably a training, and he's being asked to come in to he'd probably been asked to come in to be an extra body in training because there was people off or injured or whatever. And they've gone, oh, hang on, he needs to stay. Yeah, you're staying. You need to play. You're playing. And then he's played, and everyone's gone, oh, and you can see the progression of everyone going, and you can only see that him getting better and better and better and better. And the thing is, he's not going to probably hit his peak for another 6-7 years. Do you know what I mean? And so if he's doing that now, imagine what he's going to be like in 6 years, and you just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
I don't remember. Well, I don't think there has been a player since the golden generation where they come in as a kid, you know, and they play a game, and you're like, oh, this is young kid Morgan Gannon. I hope he plays well, and kind of go from, oh, this is a young kid, I hope he plays well. I think it must have been 3, maybe 4 games that Morgan Gannon was playing, and then everyone just kind of forgot that. He was 17 at the time, 18. And everyone just forgot him, just like, yeah, Gannon's playing. I've never known that. Like, even like in the era of the golden generation, you know, they kind of got drip fed in, different generation, but there was still that concept of like, oh, it's Danny McGuire. I hope he plays all right because he's a young kid. Whereas Morgan, I can't quite remember how it was with like someone like Adrian Morley, because I know he was really young when he kind of came in. So it's probably a similar matchup with that, but it was just like, it just felt like it was 3, 4, maybe 5 games, and people stopped saying it's a young kid. It was just like whenever you saw the team sheet or asked someone like in a bar or at Headingley, they'd just say, oh yeah, back rows, Martin and Gannon, and you just went, all right. And I thought, in terms of how hard he is, back to the question, he's rock hard. Like Brian said, he's 18 now. So what's he going to be when he's 28? He's going to be England captain. He's going to be leading an NRL side. The sky's the limit here. I mean,
he's not allowed to go to an NRL. That's where you put your marquee money. Give him marquee money.
Yeah,
I've said this
the
before.
Thing is,
he gets it. Aledski gets it.
Where's Harry Newman going, Reese?
Yeah,
Harry Newman gets it. Sam Walker gets it when he comes back. When he comes
back, we've got Victor the Inflictor's coming home soon as well. Good old Yorkshire.
The thing is for me with Gannon. The thing is for me with Gannon, and it's main. This is the main thing. As you were saying, he's on the team. So you thought, okay, yeah, fair enough. He's 17. The minute that you knew he'd made it and how hard he is when he's not on the team sheet, and you go, "Where's Gannon? Why is he not playing?" And that's when you know. And that's when you know how good. And again, he's only 18, but you'd be worried. You'd be worried if he was not playing.
Yeah. And he's got good competition as well. I mean, he's got Bentley and Martin, and he's up there with those two. And then the last question I've got on here is actually 2 questions from Phil. Who is your favourite past and present Rhinos players? Lottie, I'll answer your past player for you because I think everyone knows it's clearly Danny McGuire. Present players?
My present favourite Leeds player is Aledski. I don't think I can. I love Harry Newman, and I think he's the best player in the league. But I always think like in terms of my best player, my favourite player. I've always felt like who'd be the one where if they left or didn't play or got injured would have the biggest effect on the side. We kind of touched on it earlier that the win in Catalans, we didn't have Harry playing or, Fussy 2 or all these players. You take Aledski out of our pack. Reece, he has carried us all season. Without Aledski in this lead side, even my confidence to win would take a dint. So I have to say, Aledski's without doubt. He's also an amazing dancer. So we've all seen his moves when he's shaking his butt in changing rooms after a win in a pair of Speedos. He's got it all. So I'd definitely say Aledski. How about you, Reece?
Past for me is probably Kevin. But I always loved Carl Ablett as well. one of my favourite moments of that generation is that Warrington final when Ablett just bullied Breers all day.
Yeah.
And then when he scored over, everyone just cheered in his face. It's one of my favourite ever games to watch. Is that?
I'd love to get Carl Ablett on here. Oh my God.
We've tried, haven't we?
I've tried.
But Alensky is a name that I would probably come up with as well because of how important he is for the side. But it'd be wrong for me as chief executive and founder of the Cam Smith Appreciation Society, and I've not even got my bloody badge on.
I have.
It's here.
Just on this, by the way, sorry, just on this badge, I don't know if you can see it, has been washed on this shirt, and it's
still all right.
It's in perfect condition. So to say people bought it for £1, get a quid's worth. Carry on, sorry.
But yeah, I'd have to say Cam as well. Now, Bri.
Who's your favourite Leeds player, Bri? Past and present.
Past and present.
Right.
In fact, I'll rephrase the present question. Mm-hmm. Which one out of this current Leeds Rhinos side would you want in your St Helens team?
I bet it's same answer as ours.
Honestly, Harry Newman.
Yeah.
Did was it after the Wigan game? We said we had a Wigan guy on. I can't remember his name. The guy that Daniel. Yeah, and he was like Newman.
Newman, awesome.
Straight up. It sounds daft. It'd be a toss-up coin between Newman and Alensky. But I want Newman just that little bit more.
Fair enough. And then past players.
How many have destroyed me in the past?
Lee Smith,
McGuire,
Rob Burrow. How long have you got, Brad?
Lee Smith. Just you know when Vetro comes on Sky and that final comes on, it just gets. I'm sick. Where's the remote?
I'm going to unplug this telly.
Oh, hang on, Josh Walters. That's another one. Oh no, Josh Walters wasn't one of yours.
That was Wigan.
No, he was cast, wasn't he?
Wigan.
You are.
Wasn't that the Cash game?
No,
Wigan.
It was Wigan.
2015, yeah.
It'd have to be Danny McGuire all day long. All day long.
See, we're getting used to this bell now. I can't remember.
We're making most of it, aren't we?
Yeah, I can't remember who said it in the DM, but you see, it's getting used now.
And Phil's second question was best ever Rhinos game you attended, and I feel like we've probably had this question before. But grand final wise, sorry, Bri, this is not going to be good for you. That game when Rob Burrow won the Harry Sunderland Trophy.
That was special, yeah.
It was just incredible.
Changed the game, didn't it? Coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Completely changed the game. So is that yours?
Yeah, I can't.
I'll say something different because we do have a lot to go at. I think previously when we've been asked it a few times. It's a popular question. I think previously I said that masterclass by Danny in 2017 for obvious reasons because there were no way. I don't think, certainly not in the Super League era. And I always wear my Leeds glasses, but I'd never seen a player dominate a big game like that. I really am, genuinely am. If someone thinks that they've got an answer to someone different or someone who controlled like a final in that way, then tweet me and let me know. So I'll say the 2015 final. That was the one that I was the most nervous for. 2004, I was petrified. Absolutely petrified of that final. Just because we were the nearly men, we always nearly did, we only had one in 99 and chuck up in 99, sorry. Always the nearly men. I was just, I think I'm about 17, 18 at that final. I was just petrified, absolutely just shaking. And when we did win it, I just burst out crying, thinking, oh my God, I've finally seen them win the big one. But 2015, because we'd done the League Leaders Shield and the Cup and everything, and Kev was leaving and retiring, and Kylie and JP were all going to separate ways. I was petrified that they'd not finished with the treble, so I was kind of shaking. So that was a special one as well, especially because it was a close game, wasn't it? 22-20 it finished, 24, yeah, 22-20. So yeah, I'll say 2015 grand final this time. The next time someone else asks it, I'll choose another grand final.
Brian, have you got some favourite Rhinos games you've been to?
Leeds Castle grand final was good. But that was more. I'm going to be honest with you. That was more for the journey home. Coach breaking down halfway down the 62 on the top. Yeah, that was nice. And 2014, Chance Cup fan. Really good for me. Yeah.
Fair enough. Lottie, over to you and your questions that you've had sent directly to you.
Bianca says the pink kit is back. It is, Race. We mentioned it on the match review panel, didn't we?
We did.
We lost belief in the old girl, but she is back, Bianca, and she's back with a bang. I think that's the last time I'm going to wear it. How do you feel?
Well, we won't wear it in the grand final, will we?
I don't think we'll wear it in the grand final.
And we won't wear it on Friday.
Won't wear it on. So that's
But yeah.
Sayonara to the old pink kit. Parker says, I can't remember a more satisfying victory than Friday. Can any of the panel? Can you think of a game where you enjoyed it as much as Friday? Because I did. I agree with Parker. I found that really, because they were acting so grubby and disgusting, and McLaurin and Tompkins, and they're really just playing appallingly. It was like really sweet tasting that victory.
The thing is that I felt like internally for me, I felt I got a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I really liked Catalan last year. And I was rooting for them. I thought if any team was going to challenge Saints, I thought at the beginning of the season it was going to be a Catalan team that was going to do it, and they haven't been that grubby in the last year or so. So my hatred of them have dwindled, but I still hated them because they were managed by Steve McMara. But yeah, Friday with just everything with how they were acting, it was a good feeling, I have to admit.
It was nice. Really nice. Kev says Rowan Smith is leading us all the way. Can we win it, lads? I think me and Reece both agree that we will win it. How do you see our chances, Brad? Do you think we'll win it? Do you think we'll get to the grand final? Do you think we'll lose on Friday? How do you see it going?
I think Friday's a toss of a coin. I really do. I think if you can control field and fence like you did at Headingley, you're in a really good chance. But again, it all depends on the squad, really, I'd say, because of obviously potential injuries, potential suspensions. It all depends on the squad. But yeah, if you can keep field and fence quiet, anyone's in with a chance to keep field and fence quiet, really. And then for the final, it all depends. I think finals are just who turns up. Last year, Catalans should have won. Let's be honest, they should have won, and they just never turned up. That's it. Again, like they didn't turn up last Friday, but they did. They just turned up with the wrong attitude. But you know, many a time when you've beat us in a final, you've gone in underdogs and no one expected you to win, and there you are, the trophy going home, and I'm crying in the car.
It's hard for us not to be confident at a grand final, though, having only lost one, since 2004.
See, this is the thing.
We as a club have this feeling that if you get to that stage, and that's a feeling of the club, that must be how it feels internally at the club. But as a fan base, we know that if we're in the grand final, the odds look pretty good for us just based on our history, and not just like historical, like recent history as well. So
it's like JP always
call it arrogance. It's just that aura that we've got.
No, it's like JP always said, muscle memory, isn't it? So it's one of and it courses through your club. And as much as you mightn't have players who've been there, but you will have players who've been there, but you get used to it. The fact, again, if you play Salford will be going as favourites because of the 2 wins they'll have had.
Yeah.
But then you have the but you'll have the experience. So I'd favour Leeds again if you play Saints. You go in as underdogs. So, but then every Saints fan does not want to play either Wigan or Leeds. so basically,
I think it's really open. I think any of the 4 teams could deservedly win it.
I made a phone call 4 weeks ago, and I said it could be a Salford Leeds final, and it probably would be. And that was 4 weeks ago, just on what had happened in the last few weeks. And yeah, I'm not sticking with it, but it's possible. It is very, very possible.
Brian says, interesting to see Rowan Smith will be going up against his uncle Tony next season. Has that ever happened before? Because obviously Tony...
I don't think it'll happen between Rowan and... Well, hang on, would it have been? Because Rowan was at Bradford. Wasn't it?
They were in...
Bradford in a championship with them, weren't they?
They were down by then. That's never... I'm guessing what Brian's thinking, it has an uncle and nephew coached two sides before. This is one for stats, this, Brian.
Yeah. Or even if two families. Yeah, even if it's just two relationships. I don't know. Brian, can you think of anything where either head coach is related?
Don't know, Brian. You'll have to Google it or wait for stats to come on. Ask stats at LUFC stats. He'll tell you in 0.3 seconds. Trust me.
Don't you think that's a bit shoving two fingers up at Hull KR from Tony Smith?
I don't get that appointment at all. It is, by the way.
Yeah. It is absolutely. A bit... Well, something obviously happened at KR that he's not happy with. Whole job comes up. He publicly says, I want it. And it is... although Hull did launch... I don't know if you saw Hull's promo on Twitter. You know, when they put the photo on saying Tony Smith aside, he was wearing a Hull KR top.
He was wearing a Hull KR jacket.
Tits.
Christ. I do think it's a kick in teeth to KR, to be honest, because he did a good job there, really. I know it ended really badly. Sour, which no surprise, but yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why he's gone there. What's he going to do there? Does it say more, Bri, about the quality of Super League coaches that Tony Smith's just constantly just going through the league? Must have managed half the league now. Or do you think Super League clubs should offer jobs to Championship coaches or assistants like we have, like Saints have? Do you think they need to take more of a chance with newer coaches or promoting coaches?
I think there should be more. There needs to be more of a chance. But then I think owners look at the past a lot, and obviously the Australian assistant coach thing works. Whereas the last real coach who got a job from what they done good in the lower leagues was Richard Marshall, and he fell flat. Well, he'd gone to Saints and then he fell flat on his face. But you're looking at it, and now he's an academy coach at Warrington. So, I'd like to see coaches come through.
Yeah.
But then when you've got coaches in the lower leagues where John Key is pretty much the Tony Smith of the Championship, he's bouncing from club to club to club to club. So when these young coaches come through, they need to start somewhere. And all the jobs to get as assistant coaches, like Paul Wellens, who's sat there, like JJB, and Danny, sat there for 6-7 years. And then you get the chance. And you're like, could they have gone to the Championship, built themselves a reputation? Well, yeah. But no, because the last few have been Marshall, Agar. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head who've come up that way. And I don't like the merry-go-round that Tony Smith and people like John Keir are doing. But there's big two fingers up to KR and massive. But I wouldn't. You'd rather be a KR than FC at the minute, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah. I don't understand why Smith's gone there. I don't understand why Hull have appointed him. I don't understand it. But yeah, Brian, certainly a unique situation in that Rowan going up against his uncle. Make no mistake. This next question's from another Brian. Everyone's called him Brianton. Popular name. Brian,
it's just me with different accounts. That's it. Yeah.
Thanks, Brian. Brian is our movie guy, film guy. He's now merging into the world of television, and he's asked us, "What are your favourite horror TV shows, Reese?"
I've answered the horror film question with a TV show because I don't watch horror films. It's Stranger Things. Simple.
That was an easy one. Bri, got any favourite horror TV shows?
No, I'm a wimp.
Am I the only one that watches horror here?
Simple as I'm a wimp. Can't even watch Casualty because it's too gory for me. Serious, I just can't. I'm a bit squeamish, so yeah, I just can't. The last one I really watched was just something like Bruges or something like that. Yeah, horrible. It was like something about a hostel, and yeah, put me off going abroad for about 6 years.
I liked one on Netflix that was called Midnight Mass. That was good. American Horror Story. That's good for anyone that's not seen American Horror Story. For one series, it's got like a story, a tale, but then the next series has the same actors doing a different story. But you know, it's really good, really good. I'd probably say American Horror Story is the best horror TV show out there, and I've only seen 2 series of it. But other than that, I think films do horror better. Phone going there. So American Horror Story probably my favourite. Tyler is our music man, our music question. Tyler says, I think I am running out of music-related questions, so this could be the last one. Well, if it is the last one, Tyler, it's been a good run, hasn't it, Reese?
It must be 6, 7, 8 weeks in a run.
Must be. Easy. Months of these questions, Tyler. So if this is the last one, thanks. Ask us about something else. Well, who are your favourite American band, Reese?
It's going to have to be Bruce Springsteen. For me. I think I've mentioned him when I've answered that a couple of times, I think, with Tyler's questions, but yeah, Bruce Springsteen's
been
just legendary.
90 to 95% of Reese's answers in the music question.
Pretty much, yeah.
Bri, favourite American band?
The Killers, probably. Kings of Leon. Someone like that.
We had all the K's in the noughties, didn't we? We had Kaiser Chiefs, Kasabian, Kings of Leon, Killers. Like that was the indie. Kylie Minogue. Yeah.
I can't think of any more. Excuse me. Alana says, Sophie Robinson podcast was great, though it did make me really hungry. We did talk about food a lot.
Well, yeah,
on that
about
podcast.
Half of the podcast, I think.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, Sophie really good. Obviously, she's got her Instagram page where she reviews food, so we kind of jumped on that and we're like, picking apart her hobbies. It was great to see. It would be great to see more women on the podcast. Keep up the good work. Yeah, we're still looking for a female regular for the podcast. We're still kind of trying to find one that we'd like more diversity on this podcast. So if anyone knows of anyone that would be interested in speaking about the Rhinos or coming onto the mailbag with us, just get in touch at Lot 17A or the Owl and Fleece. But yeah, Sophie were brilliant. We're hoping to get more from the women's side. We've got Simon Brown coming on Tuesday from the PDRL, who just won the grand final, which was amazing. Simon's coming on to speak with us on Tuesday live. That's an exclusive. Actually, this is coming out. This isn't live now, is it? I've just remembered.
No, it's coming out on Monday.
This is coming out Monday, so yeah, it's tomorrow. Damien says, what colour Leeds kit would you like to see next season? Reese, is any kind of colour kit that you'd like?
I enjoy the white kits quite often. I like it when we do I think, not quite the 2017. In fact, the Danny McGuire testimonial shirt I really, really like. Just the white with the blue and yellow, just single thing. I really like that. I don't really. I'm a bit more traditionalist in this. I don't really like Leeds playing in colours that aren't white, yellow, and blue. The pink kit has been an exception this year because it's actually won. That was the only kit we won in for quite a while. So I think a white one next year for me.
I'd like to see a green kit, probably my favourite colour. So for like the third kit, something like, I don't know, like a nice green, all green though, so that the badge is green.
Actually, I'm going to change my answer.
Go ahead.
We've had some good maroon kits in history. I would say I've got the Yeston Harris one. From like, and then
excuse me, the flag. You mentioned something, Welsh.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hang on. Sorry. Thank you. This is the equivalent of a bell, but it doesn't.
It
make
is
noise.
now. Yes.
I'm just going to have to start shouting "Cymru and Biff" instead. Omar Hoheed. Yeah, but we had the one in 2018 that was like maroon and then dark blue. I really liked that kit. We had a green one, didn't we?
We did.
Like
we had
green and silver, grey.
Yes, it was like striped, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I didn't quite like that one. Or more green, I'd say. Something else I'd love to see is, I think it was Hull KR who had one, but last year, maybe at Magic, like a camouflage style shirt. I think they did it for the Forces. Not kind of that classic camo army colour, but like a midnight arm, so it'd be like a blue and black and grey. I think that'd look good with Rhino's badge on. Any kind of Saints kit you'd like to see, Brian, next year?
Bring the orange back to Saints. Orange and blue away shirt. That it always goes down well. For Leeds, anything that's fluorescent so I can see you's coming. And when we're defending, that'd help. And that camo shirt, I think it was Featherstone.
It was what?
Featherstone. I think it was Featherstone who brought the camo shirt out.
Yes, I knew someone did. I know someone scruffy and rubbish did. Don't worry, no Fed fans are listening to this. Sean says, as the season started coming towards its ending, listening to you annoyed me, I must admit. Oh, be honest, Sean. Your thoughts on us winning every game I found repetitive and boring. I'm a realist and I didn't agree with what you said. Having said that, the more games we played under Smith, can you see where this is going? The more games we played under Smith, I began to realise perhaps you were right all along. Rowan is our saviour. Leeds by 36 on Friday.
I really wondered where that was going for a second. I'm like, why are you reading this out?
Peace be with you, Sean. The Lord and Saviour.
Just like that. Ego getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Reese is thinking, why the fuck is he reading this out?
Oh my God.
That's definitely an Eddie prediction, that isn't it? Leeds by 36.
God, Sean, I genuinely thought like Eddie was just about to slate this guy. I'm like, oh God, this is not going to sound good.
Why did we get record lowest figures for the Catalan mailbag? Or because Eddie went on a mad tirade to show. No, welcome, Sean. Let Rowan in. He's got us from here. We're absolutely fine. Cheryl says, can you believe what you are achieving with the podcast these days? And how did you and Reese meet? You can tell you both know each other really well by listening to your chemistry. Well, that is a compliment, Cheryl.
It's a compliment. But the funny thing about this, Cheryl, is that we only met for the first time actually in person when we did the camp, we did the badges. Wasn't it? I can't remember what game it was.
I think it was Salford.
Was it Huddersfield or Salford? Yeah, it would have been Huddersfield or Salford, I think. But I met as a guest, didn't I? I came on as a guest.
He came on as a guest, Cheryl. We've only known each other for...
Since the Catalan home game.
The Catalan home game. Remember that one? 6-7 months, maybe? 8 months? Don't know.
2 people.
So the fact that you think our chemistry is great, well, imagine what it'll evolve into from here. What was the other question? Sorry. How did you... can you believe what you are achieving with the podcast these days? No, I can't. And I was absolutely gutted. It had to happen, and it was the right decision by the club to cancel the event that we had planned, but the club did invite us down to record a podcast there, and I just don't think we're going to get that. Or are we ever going to
have that
get that
opportunity
chance again? Possibly.
We may get that opportunity again.
Possibly, but we'll see. But yeah, the things that are happening with the podcast, it's unbelievable. It's everyone's interaction, buying the fanzine, everything's overwhelming. Everyone retweeting, listening, coming on, the guests. It's just, I think, I might have said this before, but I feel like the podcast really started like when Reese came on board and Andrew, and we started on YouTube. It kind of, from that moment, it just elevated The listeners went through the roof. Just the guests were flooding in, and from that, it's kind of just snowballed. But it's really good to see, and we're just kind of riding the wave and just keeping his feet on the ground and kind of taking it as it comes. But thanks for your kind words, Cheryl.
If you win on Friday, you want to find yourself a little corner of Old Trafford and do one with loads of people behind you.
Yeah, good
Stop
idea.
that. I'll be messaging Rob Oates going, I want to be in the team. I want to be lifting the trophy in the stand.
Want to be lifting the trophy. We can't do it with that dumping background, Brian. We could do it from the other
Yeah, but
side.
you can do it with the car park behind you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do it from that side. Yeah, that's a good idea. Marty says, who does Brian support? He obviously knew you were coming on, but you've kind of answered that, haven't you, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Red V.
Ollie says, will there ever be a Lot Pod meetup? We have tried this, and Friday was going to be like the big one, wasn't it?
The official one, wasn't it?
The official one. We had the fanzine. We were going to record there. We had an idea to kind of mingle amongst the crowd and kind of get some thoughts from people, kind of record it like that so we can get more thoughts on the game. We will do it. Maybe Old Trafford.
We've got two opportunities. We've got the victory parade after the grand final. Sorry, Sean. We're still going to say we're winning every game. Or then the first home game of the season next year.
There's also Penrith as well. We haven't confirmed where that's getting played yet, but I've kind of penciled in Ellen Road for that. So, Ollie, we might be meeting with two chances, really. We've got the grand final where we could have a big meet up there, or we could meet up at Ellen Road.
Bry's keeping a really good straight
Brian's just thinking, what have I come on to?
I'm planning my route to Old Trafford to try and avoid it. That's all. I'm going right through. Although I'll end up in the middle of it somehow.
I'll be dragging you on.
I'll be putting a tracker on your car, Brian, just so that me and Eddie can flank you on the M62.
That is.
Staying the night before.
Oh, you're going the night before? Oh, thanks. We'll come to your hotel, then we'll flank you.
Off the road.
Craig says, do any of you bet? And if so, what's the most money you have ever won? Any of you?
I do bet now and then. I have a limit where I'll max spend a £5 on a weekend to put some accas on. Normally just for a bit of fun. The most I've ever won was probably 250 on off a quid because I can never put £1 on. So just silly accumulators, and now and then I'll win one. But I don't do it properly.
Brian, you betting man? Have you won big?
I have done. I have bet, and the most I won was £400 in 2005 AC Milan Champions League final. Put the bet on in the August before.
Brilliant. I've won. Me and my friends have won big. I think there were 6 of us. I can't remember how many there were. We put an accumulator on. What we used to do when I drank, we'd kind of meet up. We'd all put £2 in a pot, pick 2 teams on an acca, mark it in and then put it in and then think, well, it came in. I remember where we were. It was after a Widnes game. I think it was a Bank Holiday Monday game. Must have been 2016, something like that. And we was in Headley Verity Weatherspoons after the game, having a drink in there. And one of our mates has actually gone home. And someone just remembered, we need to check the acca. We haven't done the acca. So I had it. So I pulled it out. My mate got his phone out. So I'm kind of going, right, Northampton. Yeah. Going through. And then I says, we've won one team away here for just under £5,000. I said, we're one team away. Anyway, it came in. We won it. We all just started screaming in Headley Verity, just screaming, bouncing about. And Bouncer came running over, like going, what are you doing? And I was just like, we just won £5,000 on this hack. And he was just like, what the? And he just, fair enough, but calm down. And then we were ringing round. I were ringing round Hot Buckies, Hot Ladbrokes to say, we want this cash now? Can you cash it in? Then we found one and walked around bottom at town. I think we all got about whatever it is between thingy, but yeah, that was a big one. That, and we rang the mate that went home. We kind of said, the acca's come in, we've won, And he was just like, I'm getting a taxi back. And we just stayed out for ages, all night. Didn't get home.
Spent it all in one night.
Spent a fortune. Yeah. I can't have spent that much because I remember I got hangovers for ages and ages. But when I'd finally come back to the land of living, Harriet said someone's fitting new carpets on like Wednesday. And I'm like, all right. She said, yeah, found a wad of money on the chest of drawers. I said, fair enough, that's fine. That's fine. I can't have spent that much unless I pulled some more out of the bank. But yeah, that would amazing that. But yeah, I don't bet much. The only time I bet now is Grand National. And I kind of just spread a tenner about on names. But yeah, never, ever win. Milliken says, I missed out on the fanzine. Will there be any more available? There'll be no more first issues available. That's it. That was the first run. But we're going to do others, so you can have them. So sorry for everyone that missed out on the first issue. Ben says, I have now officially booked the grand final Monday off work. People are getting this now, Reese. They're getting on board with
There's a couple of group chats and they're already on the forms. Like, say, if we get there, like, you can get a ticket first option. People are booking Monday off. Yeah, it's funny.
We said on the podcast weeks ago, get the Monday booked off. What are you going to say, Brian?
The Monday's Bob Woodall's birthday.
Another.
That's why we've actually got the shirt day on the Friday.
On the Friday.
Because we wanted to do it on Bob Woodall's birthday. But it was on the Monday and we thought, well, everyone will forget about it after the grand final.
After the grand final, yeah. Good to do it before.
That's why it's actually on the Friday.
Another reason for Leeds to head over there and win it. Francis says, Catalans, are they grubbier than the worst Wigan side? I don't know. Do you think, Brian? No. Do you think no? No. I agree.
No.
I think Wigan have been grubbier over the years. Do you agree, Reese?
Sorry, Jacksonville are just scoring points, and I'm like completely losing my crap right now.
We've lost Reese.
I'm trying to keep calm. Like we've just
lost Reese to the NFL.
Saints, will they go all the way and win it? Was that the question?
No.
No. The answer to that question is no. What was the
answer to the question? Yeah, fair enough. That's fine.
What was the question?
Catalans, are they grubbier than the worst Wigan side?
When were Wigan at the worst? Because
the years, the whole.
Because I'm just trying to think from my. I don't want to put my age out there again because I know it'll be.
Ben Flower.
Yeah.
But obviously, I grew up with the Golden Generation, so like I don't really remember Wigan being grubby particularly then.
Really? Oof.
I don't seem to remember whether it's just as a kid and maybe wasn't paying as much attention as I do now. But certainly in terms of my memory, I certainly think Catalan are grubbier. But
we try and find the World Club Challenge Wigan Manly. Just enjoy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll watch that.
Enjoy.
2 more questions left. Will asks, what is your favourite pizza, Reese? Sure, we've been asked it before. Sure, we have.
I've always got to have a stuffed crust. I enjoy a stuffed crust.
Yeah.
If anyone of you says pineapple, by the way, then I am going to actually leave to watch the rest of the NFL. But I don't know. I don't know what my favorite pizza would be, but I do enjoy when you've got like induja, like that spicy sausage on a pizza. I always really enjoy that because like pepperoni is just a bit boring. I like probably a bit more like a meat feast, something more like that. Or even then, I do enjoy like a Texas barbecue pizza as well. Like if I ever have Domino's, which I don't have often, but if I ever had Domino's, it was always a Texas barbecue.
Bri, favourite pizza?
Mine's from a kebab house in Liverpool. The place called Botan's. It's actually been voted one of the best kebab houses in the country or something like that.
Wow.
And it's my brother who invented it. It's called a sexy pizza. It's called a sexy pizza. It's spicy beef, pepperoni, red onion, jalapenos, and then what they do is when they put the chili sauce all over the top of it and like just start in the middle and work the way out.
Pull it round like a
and then when it comes out, they put a bit of tahini on the top of it as well. Burns your mouth though. It's absolutely
There's your
stunning.
mouth, there's your ass, but you enjoy it.
Yeah, but it's one of them where I have my stag in Liverpool, and I deliberately, we do the end of the town, and I deliberately, I'm not eating.
No, I'm going there.
Walked in there, walked straight in. I want a sexy pizza, and everyone around me looked at me as if to go, "What are you talking about?" Even the people who were there from Liverpool, they were just all looking. That's not on the menu. Next minute, there you go. Thank you. Walked out, and everyone's like,
"Yeah."
But yeah,
mine is a seafood pizza. I had one last night actually. A seafood pizza.
Hang on. I don't get this either. My father-in-law has tuna on a pizza and swears by it. I'm like, what the chuff? I know it's this posh Italian thing and you have it in Venice or whatever, but it just doesn't. No, fish does not belong on a bloody pizza.
You're not having fish? Oh, I love it. Seafood pizza.
I love seafood, but on a pizza, like what?
It's delicious. Oh god, it's delicious.
What's on it?
I got one last night. Calamari, prawn, king prawn.
Is this prawn in a shell?
No.
Or is it just right? Okay.
But there's mussels that come in the shell on the pizza, so you have to take them out and put them on. I think it's just for kind of presentation purposes. But yeah, delicious. From Luigi's is it Heckman White, Click Eaton? It's absolutely delicious, honestly. It's the best pizza I've ever had.
They do good pizzas. It's only down the road from me, yeah.
Oh, do you know it? Yeah, Luigi. Is it Heckman White?
I think it's Click Eaton.
Click Eaton, yes. I always get them. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Gorgeous. Last questions from Anne, who asks, how do you like your eggs in the morning? Reese, how do you like eating eggs?
Scrambled. And if I may say so myself, I make some banging scrambled egg.
Have we discussed this before?
I don't know, maybe. But
I think we have.
I really like scrambled egg. I mean, there's nothing better than even if it's like smoked salmon and scrambled egg on toast, or even just with some avocado in there. But my scrambled egg, I'm telling you,
really, it's banging.
Yeah,
it's the one. Bri, how do you like your eggs?
Prefer poached.
Yeah. Can you poach an egg to perfection, Bri?
Yeah, the Dan Walker method. I can. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
the official egg club. Hang on.
The official.
Yeah, I've got his book here. There we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Promo.
Yeah. It's stunning. It takes a bit of work, but yeah, it's perfect every time.
Every time. Official.
And and what the best bit about it is when I first done, my wife looked at me and went, isn't the poached egg supposed to be out the shell? And I'm like, no. And yeah, it's that for the first 2 minutes, the egg's still in the shell when you're doing it. So
perfect. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I love poached. I can't do poached, but like Reese, I've cracked. No pun intended.
Get it.
Yep, no pun intended. Scrambled eggs, just due to Harriet, my wife, kind of showing me over lockdown, because she's always been good at it. I was rubbish at it. And she's like, right, this is how you make the perfect scrambled eggs. So I prefer poached, but I can't do them. So scrambled. That's the end of the mailbag. Bri, brilliant. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
No, brilliant. Keep up the good work with Six Again. Love it over there. Love your stuff. I've also got to commend you for the Predictions League that you run on Loose Forward podcast, because that must take some work, that, Bri.
Just a little bit, yeah. Sundays and Mondays are a bit stressful, but yeah.
And that's without the match review panel.
Yeah, it's a bit stressful, but he's only brought it up because he had good stats, so don't worry about it.
I should definitely be the Yorkshire representative. If you ask me, I'm just saying. Just saying. Reese, Bri, thanks a lot. We'll be back with the next podcast with Cy Brown from the PDRL side, who has an absolutely fascinating backstory. So please do join us live on Tuesday for that. Take care, everyone, and thanks for listening. See you soon.
See you soon.